everybody.
First off, I just want to thank everybody for coming out, all my coordinators. Dan Pemberton, in the house, everybody. Dan, come here. Dan,
Right on time.
come here, come up here, coordinate.
Dan, come see us at the table.
Yeah. Don't be late and think like, you just go hang out. Although there are grape stuff back there. I wouldn't have been able to put this on without like just the efforts of everybody, my coordinating team especially. Rob Sturma, who many of you have already met. Mike McGee. Sydney Jaggery, where are you? Oh, you're back there. And who's not here, but who's down in Los Angeles, and Helena Lazaro. She coordinated everything online. All of the spreadsheets, everything, like, basically what you guys have seen here today is just how I've been like online. I just pop in every now and then and yell at people. Everybody has made this whole process for me like as easy as possible. Obviously it's not easy, but it could definitely be harder. The guests who are here, thank you all for, I know there's a lot of competition today. I got the Sacramento Old City Association's Old Home Tour, they're competing with me. I got everybody's kids, everybody's got kids, and so, I've learned to be very understanding on Facebook. As my coordinators would tell you, I'm not nearly as understanding in real life. So before we begin, cell phones, everyone, it's 2014, turn them off. I'm turning mine off right now, and I'm not turning it back on probably for like another week or so. I'm pretty done with it. So in the last week and a half that Lara's with us, we were talking to her like, what do you want? What kind of service do you want? And she said, I want my work shared. And she wanted like the poets whose own work that she loved, or whose humanity she loved, to come and read her work. And wrangling spoken word performers is a lot like herding cats. So I kind of rolled my eyes like, really? Like, because I can't say no to you right now, you're going to do this to me? Like, but, we did it, we're here, we wrangled talent, and the talent is here, and they know what they're doing, and people are coordinated. It's beautiful. And we got in contact with some of Lara's professors because I interpreted her work to be, her intellectual work. The sounds you're listening to, they're all from Lara's KSSU student radio station, The Lines and the Leaves, which Jeff Neal has created a Spotify station for. So if you like neo-folk and indie hip-hop, check out The Lines and the Leaves. Think of Lara. I know, I thought I turned my phone off. It will never die. I will have to stab it first. This is kind of the first phase of broadcasting Lara's work. This is what we could throw together in a month. Just amid all the sadness, and there's a lot of that. So what we could throw together in a month, and I'm pretty proud of what we have for you. Within the next year or so, we're compiling her work into a collected anthology of her works, her essays, her comedy, her poetry, her amazing, crazy lists that she used to write, her short fiction. I'm leaving Sacramento on Monday, and I'm leaving California in October, and I'm traveling around the country for a year to find out who I am. I was with Lara for 11 years. I'm 33. That's the entirety of my adult life. That's a third of it. But on the way, I'm plugged into a network of just amazing human beings. I don't know half of them yet. You know, I'll meet them. And the goal is to just, you know, spread this amazing work that's, you know, touched me and touched everyone who's going to come up here today so profoundly. And, you know, eventually just try to, you know, blow her shit up across the nation, essentially. Which brings me to the composition of this show. This is a show, first and foremost. Don't think of it as a service. It's a show. Lara didn't want people to be sad. She wanted people to enjoy her work. And while some of her work will inspire awe and reverence because she cuts to the bone, Lara was also very irreverent, you know, and to pretend that she wasn't just for the sake of grief or bereavement, you know, is bullshit. Yeah, bullshit. You will hear, you know, several instances of profanity up here. It's also more casual than a service. We have refreshments out front. Feel free to eat them. Feel free. Eat the refreshments. If you need to get up, go to the bathroom. Get up and go to the bathroom. Go out the side aisles. You know, you've been to places where you have to go to the bathroom, and I don't need to tell you these things. If you just need to get out because it's intense. It's going to be an intense, you know, next couple of hours. If you just need to get out and decompress, do that. If you need to grab someone dear to you, go out and do that. If you're a presenter, tell someone that you have done that. So we don't have to chase you down. Tell them where you're going to be. You know, we want to keep it moving. There's really one rule at this show. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I also forgot to introduce Richard Samuel Thornsberry, who'll be doing live art for you guys. There's one rule at this show, and I'm going to stick to it. Her name is Lara. Not Laura, not Lori, not anything other than Lara. Not Lara. I mean, you know, if you call her Lara, you're in good company. Mike Doty himself sent a video to her and called her Lara throughout the whole thing, but she was still tickled by it. Lara got used to people mispronouncing her name. She learned to live with it. I'm not nearly as patient as Lara was, as many of you know, and I guess as many of you are finding out. So if anybody comes up here and they say anything other than Lara, if they say Laura, you know, I fully expect everyone to scream in unison, Lara! And I'll be paying attention to who didn't. So, you know, without further ado, I'd like to bring up the MC for the event, one of the MCs. Rob Sturman and Mike McGee will be MCing the event, and bringing us in will be Mighty Mike McGee.
Give it up for Mike McGee.
Thank you, everybody, and good afternoon. We have an incident over here. We got an incident. Everyone's looking, what could it be? It's a picture falling. But I love how the expression on her face is like, I fell, you know. We're like, Sam is not kidding. Like, we're here to actually have some fun today. This is a show, and there's going to be hopefully as much laughter as there is crying and sadness. Let's bring it all. Let's bring it all in, guys. If you're feeling it, do it. You know, except maybe passing wind. Maybe take it outside. You know.
Hey, Mike, can I real quick? I know a lot of the performers are slam poets and spoken word artists who are used to competition. You guys did get the scorecards into your seat, right? We are going to be scoring, we're going to be judging this tonight. So, no pressure, performers. Just don't give us a 7.2 or I'll fucking find you in the parking lot, alright?
Yeah.
If there's no scorecards, disregard that entire announcement if there's nothing under your seat.
And the lowest score tonight isn't our friend anymore. So, sorry.
It's cool. I got my Christmas card list right here, and I've got a big bucket of whiteout, so bring it.
On your computer, yeah.
Shut up.
You shut it. So I just wanted to, I'm a touring poet, and I have spent a lot of time on many couches across the US and Canada. And one of the finest couches I ever slept on was Sam and Lara's and Rob's when they all lived together in Los Angeles. And it was one of the best places to stay because you could pretty much guarantee that you were going to eat some good food as long as Sam didn't cook it. And at the time, you've gotten much better now. Yeah. What's that?
Leaps and bounds.
Leaps and bounds. It's amazing what a blender will do to mac and cheese. So my best friend moved to LA. He became very good friends with Sam and Lara. His name's Jeff Archuleta, we call him Feff. And he can't be here because his wife is very pregnant and due this week, which is awesome, you know. It was just, as soon as I would get to LA, be it by Greyhound, Amtrak, or airline, Feff would pick me up. We'd go pick Rob up from work or something, you know, and then we'd end up back at their apartment and we'd stay for the next 5-6 hours doing whatever, you know, and it was always sort of like, there was always like a 5th or 6th person who would show up at some point to Roos or whoever, and there was always at least one moment in the evening where Lara would issue a gentle correction, you know, and there were times where she would issue kind of an aggressive correction too, you know, like where it was just like somebody would say something and it's the calmest, most like serene sort of dialogue, but there's a debate happening, and then from the kitchen you hear, "That's bullshit." Both of you are bullshit, you know. And then she would come in and then issue the gentle corrections, like what I mean to say, guys. And that it felt like going. It was always going home. It was just there's nothing in the world more important to a touring performer or artist. Nothing more important than walking into a home that isn't yours, and you're definitely not paying rent or utilities on, that belongs to someone else, but feeling like, knowing you're welcome, knowing that like, of course I get to stay, and, you know, and knowing that you're going to have to wash dishes, and they're going to make you do it, you know, and it's worth it because it's part of because that's what you do in your homes. You know, that's what you do in your home. You take care of everyone that's in it. And there are very few places in the world that I felt that taken care of, that I felt that welcome to speak my mind, knowing full well I would be told I was wrong and how I was wrong. And learn something through it, you know. And to be able to talk geek stuff and be understood. It was just it was a good place. And I look forward to the day when Sam can come back to Sacramento and rebuild that space. And I know that most of you here are going to help him do that when he does come back. And that you'll be there for him when he comes home. Because this is home, Sam. This is home. And we love you very much. It is a pleasure to be an MC this evening. It is an honor to be up here with Rob and Richard. And Richard and I actually go way, way back. I think he was 17 when I met him, maybe 16. And man, was he smelly. I mean, in that really like he's like 16 times 2, you know, like, if that makes sense. He's like 16 plus dirt, you know. So greasy, so greasy. My job tonight is to be a jerk. No, I'm kidding. But it's awesome to be here, and it is a pleasure to read the first piece of the night, which is one of my favorites of Lara's. And those of you who grabbed one of the broadside posters out in the lobby, this is that poem. We're starting the evening with that poem. So you can read along if you'd like.
Afternoon.
What's that?
It's the afternoon.
Did I say evening?
Yes.
Well, it will be eventually, you know. And you know what? Anyone who eventually ends up watching anything at home, there's footage, right? It's being filmed. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Truman Show, everybody. So this is called "The Time You Get Is the Time You Get" by Lara Kaapuni. And I read this in Honolulu a couple weeks ago to an audience of people who thoroughly enjoyed it. Resolution. Stop making friends with people just because you feel sorry for them. Like drinking beer in the summer because you're hot and thirsty. This practice will eventually turn on you, producing the opposite of the desired effect, the chronically pathetic, much like animals and small children are so keenly aware of insincerity that they can almost actually smell it. And just like the animals and small children, they will put up with you just long enough to get the meat or candy or approval before they bite or scream for the cops, just as you're about to hustle them into the carrier or the wood-paneled van. Resolution. Start keeping an enemies list. It'll help on those nights when forgiveness comes creeping in, like a grandmother who washed your mouth out with soap and then sent you to bed without supper, but still wants to tuck you in and kiss your tiny forehead as you pretend to sleep. Beware. Comfort is a sucker's game for grown-up babies who don't know how to be brave at bus stops, and forgiving is a comfort. Resolution. Live less lonely than my mother. This one is easy. I may as well resolve to be less schizophrenic than Joan of Arc. All this requires are simple things, like never substituting thank you notes for heartfelt conversation, or social networking websites for a circle of friends. Confession. I left my bike chained to your fence in Eagle Rock so I would never have to talk to you again. Confession. I didn't apologize for slapping that girl you like so I would never have to talk to you again. Confession. I told your fiance that you were seeing your ex behind his back so I would never have to talk to you again. Little known fact. Those bisexual for attention girls aren't always bisexual for attention. Even when they're sometimes not exactly what you would call gay. It's just the urge to hold on can be so strong that it turns the urge to dive in. She mistakes tongue kisses for thank you notes, and the warm press of flesh for heartfelt conversation. We all make these slight miscalculations. Whatever. It's the spiritually broke man's ohm. We can all know peace like a coma, and regret that's as pure as the ocean-washed stone. We can forgive in the dark under blankets that smell of mentholatum and ancient vitamins. We can cradle warm memories like a sickly kitten and bite the sharp ones back. Treasure every unkind word ever never said. The time you get is the time you get. Lara Kaapuni, ladies and gentlemen.